Paris awoke to an eerie silence on October 20th, 2025. The city, known for its vibrant mornings and the hum of life, felt strangely subdued. Cafes that usually buzzed with conversation stood quiet, and the distant sound of traffic was replaced by an uneasy stillness. It was as if the heart of Paris had skipped a beat, and everyone sensed that something was terribly wrong. The Louvre, usually bustling, stood closed, its glass pyramid reflecting a somber sky. The iconic museum, a symbol of art and culture, was now eerily empty, its doors locked to the world. The absence of crowds and the silence around the pyramid created a haunting atmosphere, as if the very soul of Paris was in mourning. Police tape fluttered, marking the scene of a crime that shook France's core. The bright yellow lines stood out against the historic stone, a stark reminder that something unthinkable had happened within these walls. The Louvre, a fortress of treasures, had been breached. Thieves had stolen priceless jewels from the French crown collection in a bold daylight heist. The audacity of the crime left authorities stunned. These were not ordinary thieves. They were professionals who had planned every detail, slipping past security and vanishing before anyone could react. The news spread rapidly, leaving locals and tourists in disbelief. Social media exploded with rumors and speculation, while Parisians gathered in small groups, whispering about the loss. For many, it felt like a personal attack, as if a piece of their own history had been stolen. How could such a theft occur at the world's most famous museum? People questioned the security measures, wondering how a place so revered could be so vulnerable. The sense of shock was palpable, and the questions only grew louder as the day went on. Reporters broadcast live, detailing the audacity and precision of the thieves. News anchors described the heist as something out of a movie, with every detail more unbelievable than the last. The world watched as Paris tried to make sense of what had happened. This wasn't just about jewels. It was a blow to France's heritage. The stolen artifacts were more than objects. They were symbols of a nation's past, carried through revolutions and wars, cherished by generations. Their loss was felt deeply, not just in France, but around the globe. The stolen items connected modern France to historical figures like Napoleon. Each piece told a story, linking the present to the grandeur and struggles of centuries past. Now, those stories were interrupted, their future uncertain. The Louvre's closure symbolizes vulnerability, its empty halls echoing with loss. The museum, once a sanctuary for art lovers, now stood as a reminder of what had been taken. The emptiness was more than physical, it was emotional, a collective grief shared by millions. For France and art lovers worldwide, it's a day of mourning. People left flowers and notes, expressing sorrow and solidarity. The world united in grief, recognizing that the loss was not just France's, but humanity's. A treasure is gone, and the Louvre stands exposed. The lights of the pyramid glowed in the darkness, a beacon of resilience, but also a symbol of vulnerability. The city that never sleeps was now wide awake, grappling with the reality of what had been lost. The shock is turning to anger as questions about security arise. People demanded answers, calling for accountability and change. The sense of betrayal was strong, and the pressure on authorities to recover the treasures grew by the hour. How could the museum be so vulnerable? Experts debated the failures, pointing to outdated systems and lapses in protocol. The incident sparked a national conversation about the protection of cultural heritage in a modern world. The loss is not just material, it's a severed link to history. The jewels represented centuries of triumph and tragedy, and their absence leaves a void that cannot be easily filled. For many, the Louvre's darkened halls are a reminder of how fragile our connections to the past can be. Today, the world mourns a cultural wound. The Louvre will reopen, and life in Paris will go on, but the scars of this day will linger. The theft has become a part of the museum's story, a chapter marked by loss, resilience, and the enduring power of art to unite us in times of sorrow. The heist was as audacious as it was calculated. It was the kind of operation that seemed to belong in a Hollywood script, not in the heart of Paris. Every detail was meticulously orchestrated, and the thieves moved with a confidence that suggested months, if not years, of planning. Just after 9:30 a.m. on a Sunday, when the city was still waking up and the streets were nearly empty, the thieves bypassed the main entrance. They knew the routines, the shift changes, and the moments when the museum was most vulnerable. Their target was the Apollo Gallery, a place renowned for its priceless treasures, including the legendary crown jewels. This was not a random smash and grab, it was a surgical strike at the very heart of the museum's collection. Using a cherry picker, they approached the museum with brazen confidence, blending in as if they were simply workers on a routine job. The sight of construction equipment outside a historic building didn't raise any alarms. No one stopped them as they positioned the lift against the building, their movements calm and deliberate. It was as if they belonged there, and for a few crucial minutes, no one questioned their presence. With an angle grinder and a blowtorch, they breached a first-floor window, cutting through glass and metal with practiced efficiency. The sound was masked by the city's morning bustle, and within moments they were inside. Inside they encountered guards, but the thieves were prepared. They used smoke bombs and blinding flashlights to disorient anyone who tried to intervene, buying themselves precious seconds. The staff, caught off guard and fearing for their safety, evacuated through side exits. This chaos gave the thieves the perfect opportunity to smash open the display cases and grab the jewels. The entire operation, from entry to escape, took less than 7 minutes. In that brief window, the thieves executed their plan with military precision, leaving witnesses stunned by their speed. They escaped on powerful motorbikes, weaving through the narrow Parisian streets and disappearing into the city's maze. Their exit was as carefully planned as their entry, leaving chaos and confusion in their wake. In the aftermath, a quick-thinking staff member managed to extinguish a small fire the thieves had set to cover their tracks. The smoke was meant to delay the response and destroy evidence, but it was put out before it could spread. In their haste, the thieves dropped the imperial crown of Empress Eugénie, a priceless artifact that tumbled onto the stone pavement outside the museum. The crown was found damaged, a small consolation for the museum staff. Though battered, it was a rare piece recovered from an otherwise devastating loss. The heist was meticulously planned, exploiting every security lapse and blind spot. The thieves had studied the building, the cameras, and the guards' routines, leaving nothing to chance. Their precision and speed were remarkable, moving as a synchronized team with each member knowing their exact role. It was a display of criminal expertise rarely seen. Their escape was as daring as the theft itself, vanishing into the city before anyone could react. The police arrived only minutes later, but by then, the thieves were long gone. Even seasoned professionals, museum staff, security, and investigators were left reeling, a stark reminder that even the best can falter under pressure when faced with such a bold and perfectly executed crime. The stolen jewels are a testament to French imperial history. Among them, Empress Marie-Louise's emerald necklace and earrings. These pieces symbolized Napoleon's empire at its peak. Also missing, a sapphire set linked to Queen Marie-Amélie and Queen Hortense. These jewels witnessed France's turbulent history. Their loss severs a tangible link to the past. At the core of this devastating loss are the legendary jewels of Empress Eugénie, treasures that once dazzled the courts of Europe and embodied the very spirit of French royalty. Among the stolen items were her exquisite diamond tiara and the iconic corsage bow brooch, masterpieces of craftsmanship, each stone meticulously set to catch the light and the gaze of all who beheld them. Empress Eugénie was more than a sovereign. She was a trendsetter, a beacon of elegance whose jewels were not just ornaments, but powerful tools of diplomacy and statecraft, worn to impress foreign dignitaries and inspire her people. The tiara, resplendent with high-quality diamonds, was a dazzling symbol of her status and authority, its brilliance reflecting the grandeur of the Second Empire. Worn at lavish state functions and grand ceremonies, these jewels helped legitimize Eugénie's rule, reinforcing her place at the heart of French power and society. Their theft is not just a crime against property, but feels like a personal assault on the memory of Eugénie herself, erasing a tangible link to her remarkable life and reign. The saga of the French crown jewels has always been dramatic, marked by revolution, intrigue, and loss. After the fall of the monarchy, many jewels were auctioned off in 1887, scattering France's royal legacy across the world. Yet, a few key pieces, like Eugénie's tiara and brooch, were carefully preserved as national treasures. That these very jewels have now been stolen is a painful irony, a cruel twist in a story already filled with heartbreak. The tiara and brooch were not just beautiful objects, they were the beating heart of Eugénie's collection, cherished symbols of a vanished era. Their absence now leaves a haunting void in France's cultural memory, a silence where once there was brilliance and pride. The sight of a damaged crown found discarded outside the museum only deepens the sense of tragedy. a stark reminder of what has been lost. For France, the loss of these jewels is more than a theft. It is a blow to the nation's cultural identity, a wound that will not easily heal. How could this happen at the Louvre, a supposed fortress? Security failures are now glaringly apparent. A first-floor window lacked advanced alarms or sensors. Many rooms had non-functional CCTV cameras. The Apollo Gallery's alarm system was broken. The museum's renovation project may have created vulnerabilities. The human element also played a role. The robbery exposed painful truths about security. Even cherished landmarks are vulnerable. Experts paint a bleak picture for the stolen jewels. Thieves see them for their raw material value, not history. The jewels are likely to be broken apart. Large gemstones will be recut, losing their provenance. Precious metal settings will be melted down. The artistry and history will vanish. This is standard procedure for high-level jewel thieves. The chances of recovery are slim. The world has lost more than jewels. It's lost history. The investigation may lead to arrests. But the treasures are likely already dismantled. The loss is a cultural tragedy. The jewel's fate is a grim reminder of vulnerability. France is reeling from the heist, seen as an attack on the nation. President Macron called it an attack on history. The Louvre is a symbol of French identity and resilience. The theft has dominated conversations, uniting the nation in grief. The government faces pressure to explain security failures. Social media is filled with memories of the Apollo Gallery. The public feels a personal sense of loss. If the Louvre isn't safe, what is? The crime has shaken confidence in cultural security. Recent museum thefts suggest a worrying trend. The public demands action to prevent future crimes. The theft is a painful symbol of vulnerability. A massive police investigation is underway. Elite investigators are piecing together the crime. An international criminal gang is suspected. Forensic teams comb the crime scene for clues. CCTV footage is being reviewed for leads. The hunt extends beyond France, with global cooperation. Alerts have been sent to police forces worldwide. Investigators race against time to recover the jewels. They chase a phantom-like gang before the trail goes cold. The investigation is a race to save history. The Louvre heist is a wake-up call for global museums. It exposes vulnerabilities in preserving history. Museums must employ state-of-the-art security. A multi-layered approach is needed, combining technology and intelligence. Museums must collaborate with law enforcement. The heist was a failure of imagination and technology. Access to treasures creates risk, requiring a balance. Priceless items may need more secure displays. The theft is a reminder of what's at stake. These objects are tangible links to history. The global community must invest in heritage protection. The cost of losing history is immeasurable.